Welcome to Anam Cara. We're here today to talk to you about our event in December, which will be December 16th on a Saturday from 1 to 4. We're going to be meeting shortly here with Karen Montgomery and Jonah Marsh and talk to you about the Labyrinth, kind of a combined Labyrinth and Qigong informational meeting. First, I want to talk to you about Anam Cara. Anam Cara actually means soul friends in Gaelic. We are a collective of individuals who have varying beliefs and philosophies, and we get together and meet regularly for community, sharing of ideas and gifts and journey, and then we always break bread together. All are welcome, regardless of how you identify yourself. Please feel free to join us. Information about that will be on your screen at the end. In a moment, I will be joined by Jonah Marsh and Karen Montgomery. Okay, so Jonah, thank you so much for being here today and for putting together this workshop that Karen and you will be doing.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And what are you calling this? Because it's my understanding that you're going to do Qigong and you're going to do Labyrinth. And they've combined that. They've done this before, and they're going to talk about, today they're going to talk about how they're doing that. So do you want to start there, Karen?
Well, we've got the winter solstice, of course, every year. In December, I invited Jonah because I've been taking his Qigong classes on a weekly basis almost, and just love the energy that's created through Qigong. So Jonah, how are we going to combine, let's go in a little, how we're going to combine the whole idea of Qigong. How do you bring the light into the darkness of the winter through Qigong? I already know how we're going to do it with the Labyrinth walk, of course, but what is this all about anyway?
So Qigong, are ancient cultivation practices developed in China. And so that literally means, usually translated as just energy work or energy skill. So we can think of Qi as being vibratory in nature. And it's the vital breath or energy that infuses our body. So this is really important, in terms of our health, because the Qi in Chinese medicine is seen to be kind of the connection point, between our consciousness and between the physical body. And thus, through practices like Qigong and meditation and proper diet, we can work with and benefit the Qi. Then we can, benefit our consciousness and the physical body, and strengthen our Qi and build and store the Qi for the winter, which is really important from a Chinese medicine perspective. That from the Wuxing or 5-element theory, full disclaimer, these are not the correct pronunciations of Chinese. I'm working on the Chinese tones, but we can say Wuxing is the 5-element or 5-phase theory, which has a season to the correspondence, has a correspondence with each season, and a certain kind of energetic quality with each season that we're kind of working with. We also have corresponding emotions, which can present challenges, but the good thing about 5-element theory is that to every yin there is a yang, right? So we have this counterbalance that we might have the challenging emotion, but we also have a counterbalance of a positive, we can think of it as like a positive synergistic or proactive emotion that we're bringing forth, which in the case of winter, kind of the positive counterbalance is the willpower, the aspect of our willpower that we're being strong in our reserve, which will be strengthened the more Qi that we can gather and store in the winter, through practices like Qigong, through breathing meditation, is really one of the main ways, is actually just through our daily breathing practice to build and store our Qi in the lower Dantian, is one of the main purposes of Qigong from their theory of how Qi flows in the body. But so the willpower is extremely important in winter because the challenging emotion is fear. And so just in a nutshell, we're using, again, from five element theory, the positive emotional aspect of our willpower, which also has an aspect of trust and awe in the universe. And when we say awe, that's AWE, as in, wow, there's a beautiful frozen waterfall in winter, and I'm just seeing this, there might be water cascading, but there's beautiful, icicles hanging down from the trees in the water. And so that sense of, for me, what I like to say is just kind of the majesty and beauty of nature, that it's, I'm so grateful to be alive on this beautiful day, even though it might be cold as, which is good because that can, kind of wake you up and invigorate you. But we wouldn't want to really do a lot of Qigong practice outside in winter because that can be harmful. And from a Chinese medicine perspective, can lead to what's called wind or cold invasion, particularly on the upper part of the back and the neck is kind of a vulnerable point from Chinese medicine. So this is a good segue to, part of what we're going to be covering is just, the practical daily aspects of Chinese medicine that I promise you can really, benefit your health. And really, for me, you'll see better immunity. I definitely have gotten less colds and flus, since doing these practices, since my Qigong practice. But that a lot of what we'll talk about is just, daily things for the season of winter, which, as we know, it's a natural time where, respiratory illnesses and flus are much more common. But so in Chinese medicine, we always want to cover the head, with a hat to keep the head warm. There's a very important acupuncture point, Bai Hui, which is our connection to the heaven, where we're pulling in the qi of heaven, qi of earth coming in from the feet, meeting in the lower dantian. So that Bai Hui point is extremely important for Qigong practice. We want to cover that as well as cover the back of the neck because, with a scarf or some sort of covering or a hoodie, because the back of the neck can, as I said, be prone to that cold or wind cold invasion.
So we'll be learning a little bit about how to build that immunity in our body through breathing and through different things we do, like what we wear, what we eat, how we
absolutely
move.
Yeah, through
the winter. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and the study you've done and how you identify your practice.
Sure, yeah. So I love these practices. I've been studying Qigong and, kind of the accompanying Taoist philosophy since I was in college. My alma mater is good old College of the Atlantic up in Bar Harbor, Maine. And so you can imagine, beautiful landscapes on the rocky coast of Maine. I was very inspired to, practice Qigong and meditation, seeing the waves crash in, in Frenchman's Bay up there on the College of the Atlantic campus. So, and even since I was younger, just always felt, a pretty strong connection to nature, which in Chinese is called, again, not the totally correct tonal pronunciation, but their term for nature is ziran, but that's translated to mean the self-so, or something that is spontaneously, existing of itself, and it's constantly changing, is the Chinese conception of nature. And, really in college, I just, became pretty captivated with the ideas of Taoism and the natural philosophy, and also started to learn a Qigong form, and that was just informally through a professor, but I just really felt, a lot of benefits physically. I felt more relaxed, much greater emotional balance, and just overall, a sense of greater peace and well-being, but also
nice.
more energy. I mean, literally just more, energy for daily activities, which, we could all use at this point.
Yeah.
And so I ended up moving back to Richmond after I graduated from College of the Atlantic, and have continued to study with a teacher that that I've been studying with since 2011. So really, I've had a continual practice with one teacher for 12 years. I'm still very much a novice, because that's the the real beauty of these practices, is that there's so much to learn. And as I said, it's a really deep, physical training. If you're doing the martial arts aspect of Qigong, can be very rigorous, strengthening, but also very, spiritually and energetically beneficial from the Qigong perspective.
And people who come to the event that we're having on December 16th don't need to know any Qigong already, do they?
No, this would be
I didn't think so. Okay.
Intended for beginners, and we'll cover some basics from Chinese medicine. And
okay.
Really, we're going to be doing more sitting meditation, maybe some movements. I think we'll do, if
Okay.
space permits, we'll do a specific Qigong exercise specifically to benefit the immune system,
Great.
which, as we know, is important, really important in fall and winter, but it will mainly be some either seated or standing meditations where we're using the Shen, the heart, mind, or the consciousness to go inward and working with the, the 5 elements
Right.
to move the Qi.
Right.
And as I said, also work with, the particular emotional aspects of each season, but of course focusing on, that of winter, the physical and spiritual landscapes of winter.
Okay, great. And you are a Qigong meditation instructor.
Yeah.
That is correct. And
Yeah.
will we be moving just a little bit of movement?
Yeah, I think,
Because Qigong is actually like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
okay, movement.
And, I think in this country, usually people think of, we're doing hand movements just from a stationary posture, which is what we'll be doing, but there's a lot of stepping and moving Qigong. So I just wanted to, bring that forth, that Qigong
And
can
breathing too.
Yeah.
Right? Some breathing techniques. Okay.
And thank you, Karen, for bringing that up, because the breathing is super important, because it is the conscious breath, functioning with that abdominal breathing or 6-directional breathing, combined with gentle movements, with gentle tension and relaxation in the body that moves the Qi, right? It's it's the conscious breathing that we're fully in the moment, gently engaging the diaphragm, combined with our, relaxed movements and slight muscle contractions that moves the Qi in the body. And importantly, we'll talk about this in more detail regarding the immune system, but the lymph in the body does not have a devoted pump like the circulatory system. We know that the heart pumps the blood. We need a pump for the lymph, and so that's another one of the many benefits of Qigong, is that through the gentle muscle movement, we're helping to circulate the lymphatic fluids in the body, which is
Whoa, that's
removing
pretty cool.
removing metabolic waste. And we know even from Western medicine, better lymph fluid is extremely beneficial for the immune system.
Oh,
so you'll have to come to the seminar if you want
I
to
know,
learn
this is
more
so
about
fascinating. Thanks again for coming.
Yeah, glad to
And
be
you
here.
you actually do a Qigong meditation class on
Yeah.
Monday nights at 5:30. Tell us where that is, and the will be on your screen if you want to jot it down, the name and address. But tell
Cool.
us.
Yeah, so it's the class is every Monday, and it's at the Living Water Community Center, which is 1000 West Overhills Boulevard. So it's
Okay.
close to the the Boulevard or Nickel Bridge.
Okay.
And yeah, every Monday at 5:30, it's a beginner Qigong class. So it's mainly movement based, but I do like to cover some of the Chinese medical theory, and as well as the philosophy that really informs the practice in terms of what is Qi, what are the 5 elements or 5 phases, why is that important. Obviously we talk a lot about really the basis of Chinese medicine, which is yin yang philosophy, and as a basis for change and the movement of Qi in the body. So just talking about those fundamental ideas, but yeah, mainly movement based, and some of it is stationary with hand movements, but particularly for winter, it's important to even though it's cold, to move the legs. So we do some Qigong stepping and moving through different stances as well.
Right, sounds fascinating, and it's a good opportunity for community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much like Anam Cara,
Right.
we have bring people together, but it's also about developing relationships and having support for one another. Well,
Yeah,
thanks
that's
again
great.
for being here.
Yeah.
And thank you
Thank you
both
for having me.
sharing your gifts and talents with Anam Cara, and we'll see you all in December. Again, I want to thank Jonah and Marsh for being here today, and Karen Montgomery as always. We really are looking forward to having an interesting experience in December. That's December 16. That is a Saturday from 1 until 4. We are planning next year's. We will start planning in January. And we won't be meeting every month, but we'll let you know more about that as we move forward. If you're not already on our mailing list, please send us an email and let us know where we can send that email to you. You can also go to our YouTube channel. The information for both of those are on our screen. All are welcome. Bring a dish to share. Thanks for joining us.